Guys, it's Tamara here with my 3-week update as promised. Shocker, I know. Let me start really quickly with the stats. I weighed in this morning at 241 even, and I was at 243 last week, so that's a 2-pound loss for the week, 14 since surgery, 30 pounds since the start of my pre-op diet, and 47 pounds from my highest. So definitely a slower poundage loss week than the last couple of weeks. I noticed that's kind of a trend with a lot of people who've had surgery recently, so I'm not freaking out about it. It is what it is. I'm trying to kind of trust the process and also make some better decisions, because I haven't, like I told you in my last week's update, which was yesterday, that I haven't been making the best decisions, so I'm gonna try to rein that in. Just a couple of things that really should have been in one of my previous videos that I keep forgetting to mention. I wore jeans, albeit probably a size too big, on day 5. I had run out of stretchy, leggings that were loose enough. I have a few leggings that are probably one size down that I wasn't wanting to squeeze myself into. So I did wear jeans comfortably on day 5. I did something that's nobody's business on day 6. And I had 0 problems sleeping in my bed right away. So I was in the hospital 2 nights, and then that 3rd night I slept at home. I do have an adjustable base bed, so when I was just like lounging in bed and not sleeping, I did have the head inclined and the feet inclined, kind of how I normally do to take pressure off my back. And then I had no problem with it going completely flat when we went to sleep. And I slept solely on my back for, I would say, 5 or 6 nights. And then after that, I, kind of tried shifting to the side, which was okay. It kind of felt like when I was on the side, the weight of my belly was kind of pulling on something. And it kind of felt that way on both sides intermittently, not all the time. So I was able to kind of, because I do normally kind of move around throughout the night on all 4 sides. So, and I'm back to completely, sometimes now when I sleep on I don't usually sleep on my stomach, but when I decide I'm going to go to sleep, I'll usually start out on my stomach and stretch out, and it's something I do. And I do notice sometimes it feels like something's like stuck, like something's under me, and it's usually not. It's just my body parts that are feeling weird. So but I think it was Cheryl, Sleep Nanny, that wanted to know how I was sleeping in bed, and I had no problem. So I was really thankful for that. Something else I probably should have mentioned in one of my previous videos is that I've been having a really hard time with vitamins. I initially bought a liquid vitamin that I had tried at my surgeon's office, and the taste wasn't great, but it didn't bother me prior to surgery. And then when the first time I took it, the only time I took it after surgery, it ruined my night. Did I already say this? Maybe I did. Anyways, I hated it. It made me feel awful for hours. And so then when I went in for my one week check-in with the surgeon, they were like, yeah, a lot of people have vitamins trouble with vitamins that first week. And so I sampled some more, and silly me, when I had sampled vitamins there earlier, I was eating the whole thing. And so this time she was like, here's a sample, but don't eat the whole thing, just take a bite out of it so you can taste the flavor and the texture and all of that. So I ended up picking up Celebrate vitamins. They were much softer and kind of easier to chew up than other ones that I tried. And I got the orange flavor, and I didn't mind it. So I've been using that, but I have thrown it up a couple of times. And it's just, again, it's like my least favorite part of the day is taking those vitamins. And I chose those over another one because it's twice a day, so it's not that bad. I have ordered some Celebrate vitamins, the capsules, because I'm having no problem taking all of my oral medications, including my potassium and omeprazole. That was really uncomfortable that first week after surgery, but since then I've had no problems taking oral medications and swallowing like the big potassium. I don't have to cut it up or anything. So I think I'll enjoy a capsule vitamin versus something I have to chew and like taste. So I'm looking forward to that. It's on order from Amazon, along with some Gene Pro. So I'm looking forward to that order showing up. Something I've noticed this week, since I've been back to work and I'm like back in the swing of things and can kind of notice what's happening or, you know, notice trends, is that I have a lot more restriction in the morning. It takes me a long time to drink that first glass of water, and I don't ever feel, it's weird because I don't feel like I'm in tune with my pouch. I never, you know, they say, I heard a lot of people say that, oh, if you forget and like gulp water like you did before surgery, that you'll be in pain or be uncomfortable and you'll never do that again. I've never really experienced anything like that. I don't feel, I don't even want to say it's uncomfortable. It's just like I'm forcing myself to drink that first glass of water. It's not going down easy, but I never feel anything in my pouch when I'm doing it. So it's very strange. It's not a kind of feeling that I expected to have. But I do definitely feel like I have more restriction in the mornings. Whereas before bed, like right before bed, I can usually, I drink out of a water bottle. I'm trying to think of the brand name. A Camelback water bottle. So it's 600 milliliters. And I can put that down in like the last hour before I go to bed. No sweat. But I've been trying to drink the same damn glass of water. It's about 11:45 and I go to work at 8. So yeah, I've had a yogurt and like one glass of water so far, and that's it. For a couple days this week, I was feeling super dehydrated. I wasn't really paying attention to my water, especially like Sunday. I wasn't really tracking. Normally I'm drinking out of that Camelback, and I know if I get 3 of those down a day, then, I'm getting at least 60 ounces, and that seems to make my surgeon's office happy. I know for a couple of days I wasn't getting those three bottles in. So, and then a couple of times when I would go to stand up on Sunday, I felt really dizzy. And then I just felt gross. And I called my surgeon's office and asked them, at what point is me just trying my best to get my water in not good enough? Because honestly, I wouldn't be opposed to some IV fluids. I know that sounds awful. I just feel like I'm always behind and trying to catch up. And how do you catch up when you can't, it's a struggle to even get in what you should be getting in a day? Does that make any sense? Does anybody else feel that way? And so I called them. They asked me, how much I was getting in, and I lowballed myself at 40 ounces, and they were like, oh no, that's great. Just keep doing what you're doing. The doctor doesn't really like to intervene at all, and just try to take care of that with home care as much as possible. So I was kind of surprised at that. They didn't seem too concerned at all. It has gotten easier these last couple of days. Like I said, for some reason at night, I'm able to just take water in. Because another thing that was concerning me was every morning when I was waking up, my urine was dark. And it was fine. It wasn't dark throughout the day, but it was really dark every morning. And that's kind of led up. So too much information. My apologies. Something I've noticed really since the beginning, but it finally made it on my notes this week, is that I'm very aware of what other people are eating. And I'm nagging my family, and I think that's good, but I'm also afraid of like putting them off or annoying them. Every time my boyfriend wants to go drink a Coke or something, I'm like, you don't need that Coke, you need water. And so a couple times he's put the Coke away and got a water, and he has made a comment, something to the effect of, we need that, we need to make positive changes like that, but when I'm doing it, I feel like a nag. And I'm just aware of like what him and the kids are eating. So yeah. Last week I had my first restaurant experience. I had a business lunch, and it was my whole department and the president and CEO, and so it was not optional. We all went, and I ordered a bowl of soup, and I should have ordered a cup, but I did not want to draw attention to myself. Well, everyone in my department knows this was like my department and then like our little sister departments, and so I just didn't want to draw attention to myself by only ordering a cup. So I ordered a bowl. It was delicious. It was a baked potato soup, but there was no chunks in it. Everything was blended up, so it was really good. You know, and I just picked at it like a bird the whole time, and everybody who was sitting directly around me was my group, and they know about my surgery, so that was fine. So, you know, I had my first restaurant experience was a positive one. My incisions are super, super itchy. So I had Dermabond until my 1 week checkup, and then they took the Dermabond off, and then I just had steristrips. And they told me to leave the steristrips on until they came off themselves at least 3/4 of the way. So once they were 3/4 of the way off, I could take them off. And so that took actually longer than I thought, several days. I won't say a full week, but once the Steristrip was no longer covering the incision, I would take them off, so I wasn't waiting until they were 3/4 of the way off. But if it wasn't even touching the incision anymore, then I just took it off. And then they gave me this paper tape to put over, and they said once the Steristrips come off, tape them. Now, I did not ask if I was supposed to be taping it during the day and taking it off at night or anything like that, and that tape stayed on. And so I had just tape over all of my incisions for days after. And then when I finally took it off, all of my skin around my incisions was just super dry and itchy and kind of upset at not having any air, I think, for a couple of days. So I've taken all the tape off and I haven't replaced it. And I've been using some like moisturizing oil and CeraVe thick moisturizer a couple of times a day to try to keep the itchiness at bay and try to just re-moisturize the skin around the incisions. They were, crusty when the Steristrips first came off, but they aren't anymore. And one of them's literally 1/2 inch long, and the rest of them are about 1 inch. I'd say. I haven't measured them, but that's what I would guess. And they're healing really nicely. They're just really itchy. And I'm so aware of my stomach. It's ridiculous. I mean, I wasn't a bashful person before by any stretch of the imagination. Like, I go home and take my pants off immediately. Like, 2 days ago, I was taking my pants and then my sweater off downstairs because I wanted to leave it in the dirty laundry downstairs. I didn't want to go upstairs to my bedroom to take my clothes off and then have whatever. And so my little girl was like, God, go to your room. Like, why are you taking your clothes off down here? Well, I had my underwear, bra and a camisole on. And so she was like, like averting her eyes. And I was like, it's just like a bathing suit, everything that I'm wearing is covering me just like a bathing suit was. And that's always my answer. And that was kind of always my answer with my dad too, as I was an adult, living with them for about a year. I'd go from my bathroom to the bedroom, which was across the hall, in nothing but my underwear and a camisole. And my dad'd be like, "Hup," and I'd be like, it's just like a bathing suit, whatever. Is that way too much information? But anyways, my stomach, all the time, especially when like my boyfriend's around, I'll just like lift my shirt up. Like, I want him to look at it all the time. I have no idea why. Does anybody feel that way? It's very odd. I'm just like, look at my battle wounds. Almost all the bruising's gone. I think there's maybe a little bit of a yellow tint around 1 or 2 of them, because I only actually bruised around 1 or 2 of my incisions. So 30 pounds in the last 5 weeks, that's a lot. If I stop to think about it. I do not see the changes in my body if I weren't having to get out older clothes that didn't fit me a month ago, I wouldn't know that my body was changing. I do see the change in my face. I had before what I liked to call extra face, because my face was so big and so round and so full, and I felt like I could see where my face was supposed to be, and then there was like always this little bit of extra around the perimeter, like this. So I feel like a lot of my extra face has gone away. I certainly still have, you know, some fat down here that's contributing, and my face is still round and still full. But I see the changes in my face. I haven't put makeup on since surgery, so I think that will be exciting to do my makeup and see what I look like with a fierce contour now that my face is slimmed down a little bit. But like I said, I don't see the changes in my body. I know that it's changing. I'm hoping to do my measurements today, but that's probably not going to happen because my boyfriend won't be home until late, and nah, maybe tomorrow. So yeah, I know my body's changing. I don't see it. My stomach is so like big and in the way still, that it just kind of bums me out. Like I'm wearing, you know, pants that, like I said, didn't fit me a month ago, and they would look so good if I didn't have all of, you know, my fupa area. It's kind of a bummer. On that note, I'm ready to start shopping for shapewear. If anybody has suggestions on like a good slimming camisole or anything like that, or anything really, I'm open to suggestions. I just watched the last episode of The Naked Truth with Watch Patty Melt and Elizabeth and Jennifer, and Patty mentioned her favorites, and then Jennifer mentioned some from the Dress Barn, which we don't have Dress Barn up here, so I was thinking of making an order. But if anybody else has any suggestions, I'm open to them. Leave them in the comments below. I feel like I've been talking for an extra long time, so thank you guys for tuning in. A special thank you to Scotty. You know why. I made an appointment, so I love you guys, and I will see you in my next one. Bye bye.